Hello, my friends. I am sitting in my car for mere moments, and I thought I would take this opportunity to discuss, break down, dive into the America's Sweethearts documentary Netflix that covers the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, which we now refer to them as DCC. The good, the bad, the questionable. I have zero credentials or receipts to make this, except just having watched it and have questions as such. But let's dive in. Okay, so one of the first questions that came to my mind was when we started in the audition process. They introduced us to some of the veterans. They kind of start some storylines with some of the rookies. We're kind of, getting to know people and kind of rooting for people. We're watching the audition process. It's grueling. They're trying to get into the training camp. But my question, why do we have some of these judges? So there's some really exciting choreographers, some dance experts from across the country. We've got the Lucchese Boots guy, a random meteorologist. Like, what's going on? Kelly and Judy are still there. They also hit us right out the gate with the issue of payment. And they introduced Charlotte Jones, the co-owner of the Dallas Cowboys, the executive VP of brand strategy, something like that. This woman is in the category of billionaire. And she is explaining to the camera how these women don't make a lot of money, but it's just an honor to wear the uniform. Hard to see because you're like, wait, what? Like, how are you not advocating for these athletes? It made me wonder, are the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders paid according to industry average? Like, how big of an issue is this? Is this just DCC or is this kind of across the board? I did do a little Googling in regard to the Rockettes, referenced a couple of times. So the Rockettes are paid, it was like $40,000 for the season average on Google search. So, season's much shorter time that they're investing if it's similar. So that would be a question. Okay, fast forward a little bit because this pertains to payment. They covered Thanksgiving halftime show tradition of the Dallas Cowboys. They have a big performance. They always have a football game on Thanksgiving. And 2023, we all saw Queen herself, Icon herself, Dolly Parton perform. She literally wore the DCC uniform and sing 9 to 5 alongside the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders who are literally paid pennies. We need Dolly to stand in the gap and say, listen, pay them a reasonable amount. Do you remember the lyrics to Dolly Parton's 9 to 5? Working 9 to 5, service and devotion. You would think that I would deserve a fair promotion. I want to move ahead, but the boss won't seem to let me. Like, what? Dolly, we need you. Can we please sign a petition to have Dolly sit down with Charlotte Jones? And I know that Dolly, first of all, only answers fax. She doesn't use a cell phone or email. So someone please fax Dolly Parton and say, we need you to meet with Charlotte Jones, billionaire to billionaire, and say, listen, we need our Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders to represent the best of the best in more areas than just their sacrifice. They need to be paid as the best in the industry. Something positive about the organization is that they absolutely have an awesome community and what people are looking for. Not necessarily just to dance, but they want to be a part of something with the Dallas Cowboys. That was very impressive to watch.
I just picked up Cutie Pie, so I will have to continue this breakdown in a little bit. Stand by.
Location change. So I'm getting ready for date night in my bathroom, but we are still talking DCC. 2 cuts, like girls that didn't make the team, that really just like hit me straight in my heartstrings. Kelly from Weehawken, after they encouraged her to change her look, a lifelong blondie, and they had her a brunette, and she was clearly quite shocked by that. And she almost made the team, almost made the roster from this year, and hopefully she will have come back. The second one that was just absolutely heartbreaking to watch was Ari, not even on the chopping block. Final night of training camp, they had Charlotte come out and just kind of do a final look once over, and they cut Ari, and it was just kind of blatant her height. She was quite petite, and that was so upsetting to watch because it wasn't even something that had been discussed. Like, there wasn't a height requirement. I did Google that the Rockettes do have a height requirement for their kick lines in order for them to always look symmetrical. Kelly kind of made a comment like, should we start doing that so that people that are outside that range don't waste their time and effort to try out? Whenever Kelly kind of objects of like, hey, how am I going to talk to this girl about this? There's kind of an issue because she's had so many hard conversations in her career, life in the heart. And I hope Ari, wherever she is thriving. Another specific character that we simply must discuss is Victoria. Stunning blonde, our beautiful dancer, our legacy, which means that her mom was a DCC years and years ago. Her mom actually is very good friends with Kelly, the director. Just fabulous. So Victoria was on the previous CMT show. She didn't make the team previously. She comes back, she makes the team, And she's really, really fun to watch, just like sweet, bubbly gal. She ends up needing to take some time off, I think between her second and third year, perhaps. I'm not sure for sure what the reason was. They alluded to it being mental health, maybe physical health. There's a lot of conversation about at the time she wasn't fueling her body, so I'm not sure if there was something to do with, eating, and that's really hard to watch because they critique their bodies constantly. And the body image and conversation around bodies for DCC could literally be an entire documentary in itself, because they're constantly being told, like, you have to look proportionate in the uniform, which is like, I don't know how we could control our proportions. You have to fill it out, but you can't be too curvy, but you can't look scrawny, so they can't be too thin, and you have to maintain whatever weight or whenever you made the team. So no changes. So that's like insane. Anyway, back to Victoria. So watching her during the outreach initiatives, to me, she seemed very much like a leader, like where they were all visiting like a bus driver in the hospital, the kind of senior citizen type outreach event. She was the one that was like really visiting with people. There was even a scene where the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders were with the owner, Jerry Jones, and they were all kind of like just staring at him, kind of intimidating to have the big boss man like right in front of you. She was the one that was comfortable in visiting with him, and she seemed like a gal that could talk to anybody. Awesome ambassador for the program. You see her ask Kelly and Judy for a leadership role, like shoot that dream straight out of the sky. They're like, surprised you're asking about this, like just really don't see that in you, just not know. I'd seen her kind of be a leader in these other areas. You're like, what? Not sure if maybe they were just trying really, really hard not to show favoritism with her because her mom was a DCC and Kelly's such good friends with the mom. Like they were just really trying not to show favoritism, but it was crushing her. Instead of being like, we absolutely love your heart, we'll meet you where you are, both path we could put you on to where you could get there. So I was rooting for Victoria. It's pretty honorable to have taken time off, and because she needed the time off, and then come back as a better version of herself. I wonder if after Kelly and Judy watch that, if they don't make like some changes kind of on their own, because after you see yourself in action, maybe you could have some self-reflection about that. They had a rookie, Reese, who they kind of gave a little project to. They let her do some flower design for Dolly Parton because they knew that was her passion. So that made total sense. Like, we've got a rookie that clearly wants to be more involved, clearly wants to come back. She has a passion for flowers. They have a project matched. Okay, back to the outreach event. I will say I was impressed with the security guard, who at least had a plan in regard to people touching the women. He made sure that people who wanted photographs with the DCC would be holding a football instead of trying to put their arms around them, etc. That was nice. It's like, at least we have a plan in place. But there was an unfortunate situation, heartbreaking situation to watch with Sophie, where she was in a tunnel on a football game, and they said they didn't have enough footage to prosecute. It made me think, oh my gosh, hopefully from henceforth they have cameras on these women all the time. I was absolutely very, very proud of Victoria and the decision to not move forward. It seemed like women that were like, okay, yes, you can come back and try out to be on the team. You might get cut. Won't give you any leadership roles, but okay. Instead of like, Victoria, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you took care of yourself when you needed to, your heart is here, we want you here, we're going to help you develop. That's kind of the attitude that I feel like she deserved to. Proud that she said, you know what, I've given and I'm ready to move on. So I hope that she is high kicking for the Rockhead. Episode where they had DCC alumni come back and perform at halftime was probably my favorite. It had like a sisterhood. Okay, it was also really cool when they showed Emmett Smith come and talk to the women, and I like how he didn't give them critiques on their dancing. Like, he was like, hey, I'm not a dance professional, but I'll give them kind of a pep talk, athlete to athlete. Should they all have a makeup artist if they're going to critique like how their bronzer is put on and how their eyebrows are done? They're not makeup professionals, they're dancers. Are we all gonna watch Thunderstruck differently? Probably. Are we all gonna try to do, what do you call it, like a leap, kick, and land into the split? Let's hope not, just like for our body's sake. Ouchie. Okay, a brilliant idea. The sideline sports analyst ride with the women on the bus. Updated as to where the Cowboys are within the league, because they're dancing the whole dang time. Who has the ability to also keep track of field goals? Go football. I can't even begin to imagine how people have time to do those get ready with me's like in real time. I don't think they're in real time. You know what I'm saying? See, you know that scene from Little Women where she burns off her hair with a curling iron? I always think I'm gonna do that if I try to talk during. Difficult. Not doing high kicks over your head and then leaping directly into the splits. Let me know what you thought of it, who your favorite characters were, and I will be just so excited to see who makes the team this year. Bye.